Hello and welcome to sunny South Africa and a brand new YouTube series about project cars, bikes, and a ton of other cool stuff. My aim for this show is pretty simple. I take three iconic South African cars and build them up to take on the open road, track and tarmac, and gnarly off-road terrain. So pull up a chair and get comfortable because we're about to begin our journey with the advent of the adventure van. My name is Mark and you're watching Project Car. Stay tuned. This is my 1985 VW Combi T25. Known in most markets as a transporter, it's got a 2.1-liter flat-4 engine with 2 valves per cylinder, making around 83 kilowatts on a good day back in the 1980s. With fuel injection, double wishbone suspension up front, and trailing arms at the rear, the car is surprisingly good both on the open road and for town driving, even with its brick-like aerodynamics. At one stage, the car was a popular choice among SA's infamous taxi drivers until it was superseded by the Toyota Hiace. The car has been in my family for many years, but was sadly retired in 2011 when coolant was found in the oil. It's sat since then, but starting today, we're gonna bring it back to life. Here it is, everyone, the adventure van. So the master plan for this build is basically get the car to go, get the car dailyable, get the car safe, and then take it on a road trip this time next year down from Johannesburg to Cape Town, a drive about 1,400 kilometers, or some say it takes about 18 hours. Though the plan with this combi is to take the scenic route and to make stops along the way and to go camping. So for that we're going to have to go through all the systems. Because the car has sat for nearly 6 years, everything needs to be checked. We have to check the fuel system, we have to check the braking, we have to check the suspension. We have to make sure that the car goes, the car stops, and that the car rides right and looks that it doesn't rust in coastal air. Now, to make sure that the car goes, we have to first start by dropping the motor. Alright, now before we can even take out the engine, we're going to need a place to put it, so we best clean up first. Okay, clearing is done. That means we can now move on to getting the motor out of the car, which is the part we've all been waiting for, me included. So day 2 of the combi build. Now yesterday we cleared up the shop, we went to the hardware store and we got the camera equipment ready. But by the end of today we're going to push to have the combi motor out of the car and on the bench and in the shop. Let's do this. So it's usually a good idea to give your engine a wash before you take it out of the car, especially in my case because I've had rats living in here and that makes it pretty manky. So we're going to go ahead and give this thing a pressure wash before we take it out, and one of the things I'm going to try is a water-based engine degrease. So that's pretty much just I can dilute it, mix it down, and spray it with the compressor. Make sure to cover your electronics, because if you get water in your fuse box, not fun. If you get water in your computer terminals, not fun. I've had that happen to me before on this exact same car, and yeah, she died on me. given the engine a liberal soaking. We're going to let that soak in a bit more while we charge the compressor, and then we're going to have another go until this thing is at least decent. We're not going to get 100%, we're not going to get shiny, but we are going to get it clean enough to, you know, take to the shop. Okay, so when you're taking out an engine, one of the things you want to be sure of is that you're able to free the engine up of everything that's going to keep it in place. Now, with this car, and well, pretty much every single car, unless you have an air-cooled combi, you're going to have the coolant lines running up to the radiator over here and over here. You're going to have things like the earth strap over there, and all of those little earth connections, which I'm gonna need to remember for later. Okay, distributor, that's gonna come off. We've got to clear this heat shield from the exhaust down there. Airbox and the whole throttle body actually has to come out because I need to get to an engine bolt, which is like, where is that? Where is it? Well, it's there. You can't really see it so good behind that blue little hose, but that needs to come off. Throttle linkage, warm air return lines, and this little solenoid over there. These are engine mounts. Now it's pretty interesting. It's only got like 2 engine mounts and a transmission mount that keeps this thing in place. So once we drop the engine mounts, we're gonna have to devise a way to keep this engine from just falling straight out. I don't think a jack is gonna be enough. Okay, yes, you do have like the reaction from the transmission bolts keeping that from torquing too much, but yeah, I still think we should come up with a better way to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start taking off these ancillaries and all the other equipment, and yeah, stay tuned. Now, I probably should have thought about the fact that it was 2 days till Christmas a little more than I did, and that most people probably want to spend more time with their families than taking out old combi motors. But luckily I have a plan that involves this rusty old roof rack mount, and these, nope, not tools of bondage, but tie downs. So together we're going to make a plan with these and a trusty jack. Yeah, I'm not going to pick that up. That's just too much of a pain in the ass. Here goes. So master plan, not really all that masterful. Just tie downs, this roof rack mount, supporting the engine mounts down there. So that'll just allow us to really gradually descend the engine because we're going to have a jack underneath the oil pan. We're going to lower it from there and then lower the tie down sequentially as we go along. It's a new day! Well, not quite. It's actually around like 6 o'clock tonight. I don't know why I'm looking at my wrist. I'm not wearing my watch right now. But yeah, we only managed to get the engine out at like 9 o'clock last night. Finally dropped the motor, and then it hit. It hit. The engine is seized. It doesn't turn, it doesn't make any hint of turning, not with a ratchet, not with a breaker bar. It's stuck. So we got the engine out. There's hope. We're gonna soak it in. We're gonna soak it in penetrating oil over the festive season until probably New Year's. We're gonna go and just keep topping it up on that, and hopefully we'll be able to break the three free. We need to break apart the motor anyway and find out what's wrong with it. Find out why we have coolant in the engine. If it is a cracked head, that's also not the end of the world. I can get that welded. Now that the engine is out, there's the next problem, and it's quite a stupid problem. This engine looks, apparently it's been ported once in its life. I don't know if I believe that, because whoever made the exhaust manifold and the headers, yeah, if I ever meet them, I might just bludgeon them with the closest blunt object at hand. That might be a marshmallow. That may well be a marshmallow if it is the closest blunt object at hand. But yes. So if we look over here, you're gonna see there is, steel manifold, and there is second little stud. Now it's like this on all of them, and it seems to have been like a home job or some really backyard exhaust place, because there's a joining weld. There's a joining weld. So it looks like what they've done, it looks like they literally bolted up the flanges and then welded on these little mandrel bends. If we come around to this side, exact same story. Can't get that one out. Managed. Can you even see that? Nope, can't get that one out either. Another plan I might do, I might literally just try and take off this head and see, because on this engine, spark plug's over there, piston should end there, piston and barrel should end there. So maybe if I drop the intake manifold, drop the injectors, loosen the head, maybe I'll be able to just slide the whole assembly down and off the engine. That is a hope. If not, I might just cut this here and try and bring it back as I undo these bolts and these studs and re-weld it later. That might be a complex, painful, but one of the simpler options if I can't just slide the head down. Or I might just cut it here and remake this. So whoever did this motor, yay to you. I don't like you at all. So there she is. Motor is out of the car on a milk crate. So that's it for our very, very first episode. Going into this, I kind of thought I knew what I needed to expect. I went out and bought gaskets and parts like that beforehand, just try to stay prepared. Went and bought piston rings ahead. Had to get 2 sets, because apparently you get one set that's 0.5 mil. That's very, very little of inches, like 0.5 of a mil size difference. And so yeah. First episode. Let's hope things get easier from here. And kind of the reason I wanted to start the series at all was because there are people out there that are probably like me. I have 3 cars, and yet I ride a bike to work because all 3 of them are projects. Yes, project cars. They are the bane and yet joy of my existence. So if you're like me and you have these older project cars, why not make them into the badassest daily rides ever? Life is too short to drive boring cars. Life is too short to just spend your time, on car payments. If you've got them, if you've got a vintage car, don't give up. Don't give up. Hopefully I won't give up, because that's why I'm trying to just get this motivation to keep going. That's it for the very, very first episode. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, great. But thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Hopefully the build continues. not hopefully, the build will continue. And there'll be more fun stuff. So stay tuned. That's a wrap.